Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster, and we are here for part 5 of What If Deku was the son of SCP-076 Abel. Now then, with this, before we start the What If, hit it. Okay, now then, before we get back to the stadium, at the moment they're taking the intermission before they start the actual tournament. So, before then, we look over back at the house where all the SCPs are, as one of their family members from the US who's been working there has just returned. Running into Bright, he states, "Hey Bright, what's going on?" As Bright remarks that the UA Sports Festival is going on and that Izuku's in the final portion of it, causing Rainer to smirk. If you don't know, Rainer is actually categorized as SCP, as SCP-4051, also given the nickname Your Friendly Neighborhood Keter. As they were going into the living room, there was a lot of food just being set down. 6 plates of which being set down by something invisible. As Rainer smirks, stating, "Hey James," as obviously the invisible entity could not way back and be seen, only seeing a door open and close, which leads to the kitchen area. This is actually SCP-5031, whose name was just given as being James because Dr. Bright didn't really know what to call him, so he just put a bunch of names in a hat and picked one at random. So yeah, as he went to go grab and eat. That's basically the only thing going on at the house, as we switch over to the League of Villains. As we hear some talking over the screen that the master of the League of Villains speaks to Tomura through. He calls Tomura and states that we have a bit of a guest who has an offer for us. As they see a woman with no hair on her head, but black marks all over her body, almost enveloping her entire body. As she speaks up, stating, "Hello, my master wishes to speak to you upon a deal." As she drops a glowing red and black marble, opening up into a portal, revealing a dark figure, stating, "Hello, I am the Scarlet King, and I believe I can help you as well as help myself." The All for One stated, "And what would that be?" The figure states, "I believe you've already ran into this Izuku Midoriya that caused you some troubles?" As Shigaraki scoffs at this, clenching his fists except for, one finger, because, that decay his hands. As All for One stated, yes, he seems to be quite powerful. As The Scarlet King states, well, of course, he is the son of Abel, and his anomalous abilities that have adapted from his father are quite something. Causing a bit of a shock, all for one asked, what do you mean by that? The Scarlet King laughed, stating, oh, he doesn't have quirks. What he has are anomalous abilities. He is similar to uh, my, I guess you can say, envoy that you've already met. She was given the nickname back home, known as the Daughter of Shadows. Also given a number that she was called as 029, with Overone asking, alright, but what exactly do you want? He states, oh, it's simple. I want Izuku Midoriya. I'll be sending some creatures and individuals to you that will help in the acquiring of the boy. Once I get him, that should leave a good opening for you. Plus, some of what I'll be sending you, you can use for your Nomu project. I've already made sure that they're more capable of being susceptible to your experiments. One felt this was too good, stating, alright, but even through this screen I can tell. You're something else. Something incomprehensible. So I'd like to add additional purpose to our deal. The Scarlet King asks, and what would that be? One stated, I would like to work with you directly. After all this is done, you get the boy, and, you know, effectively, once the job's done, you could say we work together or I work under you. This shocked Shigaraki, but Kurogiri gave him a signal to stay quiet, that showing that their master must have a reason. The Scarlet King laughed, stating, so you wish for a position similar to my acquaintance here? All for one laughed, stating, somewhat yes. My own abilities should prove quite useful, wouldn't you say? As the Scarlet King laughed, stating, well, we can see about that. But first, I want the job done. All for one states, of course, that's understandable. With all for one stating, well, I believe that's the deal then. The Scarlet King states, I believe that is so. Closing up the portal, turning back into a marble, which the Daughter of Shadows took, as she's led someplace to just wait. Shigaraki yells, stating, what was that, Master? Why would you serve something like that? All for one states, I can tell, even through this video monitor. Whatever he is, it's far more than what I can comprehend. I'd rather be on his side than on the and go against him. Shigaraki just scoffs at this, stating, oh, and what exactly kind of help is he going to send us to get that brat? He wasn't easy to deal with. He froze Nomu solid. Not to mention, he got his arm ripped off, and he just grew it back. As all for one states, would think the ones he would send could be quite helpful in acquiring it. However, for the time being, get along with our guests. Todoroki scoffs, stating, "Fine. The UA tournament is about to begin. Suppose I should have her watch it so that she can see the individuals she's be hunting." With everyone stating, "That's a good idea. You go ahead." As he left, Kurogiri states, "Could we really trust this Scarlet King, Master?" Everyone states, "Not sure. But, like I told Tomura, I'd rather be on his side than go against him. It's just something I feel. As if I opposed him, things could go really bad. Though, currently, it doesn't seem like he can reach us himself. I wonder why." As now we go back to the UA Sports Festival. And with this, the tournaments begin. Though Izuku is warned by Ojiro about uh sorry. Ojiro warns Izuku about Shinso, and knowing that you have to respond to him in order for his quirk to work, he'll make sure to keep his mouth shut. Though he does find it impressive that something like that would get him so far in this, as he smirks, thinking that this will be fun. Though before he goes out, Momo wishes him good luck, as he smirks, stating, "Don't worry, I'll make sure I finish this." As the battle begins, with Midnight giving the go order, Shinso tries to smack talk him to provoke him into answering, though Izuku is not responding and thinks, "Huh, so he really does need me to respond to what he says to make his quirk work, huh? Well, I don't see that happening." As he begins to walk towards him, Shinjo just keeps trying to get him to talk. Though before Izuku gets to him, he just gets annoyed by this and goes creating a chain with a shackle on the end, controlling it to latch onto Shinso's wrist and send him flying out of the ring. With Midnight stating, "Izuku Midoriya is the winner." As he walks up to Shinso, he states, "I can admire that you made it this far with your quirk being the fact that you can't actually use it to fight. But you also stated some things about me being lucky about having a flashy quirk and all that. To be fair, there's plenty of people in the hero course that worked hard so that their quirks can help them get into the hero course, even those that aren't combat oriented like yours." This is referring to Mineta and Invisible Girl. Still don't know how they got in. But back to the whatever. Sensho looks down as Izuku states, "If you want to keep going and make sure you become a hero, don't solely rely on your quirk. Train yourself. Find a method of fighting that can help work with your quirk. Also, if you can find support gear that can give you an advantage in using your quirk against bad guys, that will be helpful too. After all, if you did become a hero, then just about everybody would know what your quirk is, right?" As he takes this into consideration, walking away, stating, "Thanks for the advice, I guess." Only to get called over by his classmates as they remark, pointing at the heroes in the stands that are wishing they had that kind of quirk and how easy it would be to subdue villains. Shinso smirks, looking back, with Izuku smiling as he walked away. Izuku went off to go into the stands as he thinks, a little bit of training and some practice, he could actually become a good opponent to fight. So I wonder, would his quirk actually work on me? Hmm, being a little confused considering how he is. He's not sure if mental attacks can work on him. He's never really had anything like that done to him. So once he gets into the stands with his friends, he sits down as the tournament continued. Though when Momo was about to leave, Izuku remarked, telling her, "Watch out for Tokoyami. His speed is pretty good. And don't just rely on your creations, alright? Remember how we trained, okay?" As she was nervous, clenching her fist, stating, "Yeah, I understand," as she walked away. This fight goes pretty differently when you consider that he helped her train quite a lot, especially in using weapons as tools for fighting, rather than just having them and not having any proper training or usage in them. You know, how to wield them and such. Once the fight begins, she hurries up and creates a shield, which obviously is hit by Dark Shadow. But when Dark Shadow tries to strike again, she dives forward, avoiding him, as she then runs around with the shield, protecting where she could and avoiding the more heavier, stronger strikes. While running, she created something. One was a set of goggles that had a tint to them. Another was a set of sound canceling headphones, and the last, one flashbang thrown directly at Tokoyami and Dark Shadow, going off, causing Dark Shadow to weaken quite a bit and making Tokoyami greatly disoriented. Taking this opportunity, she charges with the shield, slamming it into Tokoyami's chest, pushing him out as he breathes heavily, exhausted from avoiding all of those attacks and making sure that she made all of the equipment right. Though Midnight announced Momo Yayoroju is the winner, she's relieved, as Tokoyami remarks, "That was quite smart of you. I see the training I've heard you've gone through with Midoriya paid off," as she smirked, stating, "Thanks," and going back into the stands. As the tournament continued like normal as in canon, Izuku was heading off for his match with Tokoyami. As when he was going, he ran into Endeavor, who, like in canon, told Izuku to force his son into using his flames, stating, "I know for a fact that you aren't the everyday kind of person. There are a few higher up heroes that know about you and your family." As the number two hero, as well as being the father of one of your classmates, I was filled in, though not completely. All I know is that you, besides having a quirk that is extremely powerful, also have something called anomalous abilities. They are interesting. So, I want you to push my son into using his fire. As Izuku clenches his fist, he looked at Endeavor, stating, "You know what? I really hate people who see others as tools. And you're even worse. He's your own son, not a tool for you. As Endeavor was getting angry, Izuku just pulls out a sword, pointing it towards his throat, stating, "Don't think you can intimidate me. Understand? If I went all out, your flames wouldn't even bother me. So don't even try it. Also, if Todoroki uses his flames, it will be for his own goals, not yours." Letting go of the sword as it dissipates, he walks away with Endeavor thinking, "Was that? I didn't. hmm, What the hell? That kid just felt this huge wave of murderous intent with this kid." This was actually something he also inherited from his dad. I would imagine even if you never met Abel, if you saw him when he was angry, you could probably just feel the bloodlust coming off of him. As the fight was getting set up and about to begin, Izuku told Todoroki, "Are you going to just use your ice?" As he states, "That's all I need." With Izuku scoffing at, "Then I don't have to use even a half of my power to deal with you. Maybe a quarter would be generous." Causing Todoroki to be mad, asking, "Did my father ask you to try to get me to use my flames?" Izuku stated, "He did ask, though I threatened him and told him that he shouldn't be using his son as a tool." When Midnight began the fight, Todoroki used his ice, and Izuku used One for All in order to break through the ice pretty easily, causing Todoroki to go back, using his ice to stop him, and beginning the assault as Izuku just walked forward, continuously breaking the ice over and over. As Izuku noticed that Todoroki was getting frozen over. And this is where Izuku states, "Honestly, I can't believe you're gonna be this stupid," causing Todoroki to get mad. "What do you know? I don't want to use his power." Izuku is now just done with this, stating, "You know what? I inherited my father's abilities too, and not once did I ever consider them something that he controls. He isn't here, yes, but I know for a fact that even if I inherited my powers from him, that they are mine, and I choose how to use them, just like you. It's your power, not his." As Todoroki is having a flashback and begins using his flames, stating, "You asked for it." As Izuku smirked, stating, "Bring it," holding out his sword, getting ready. As he goes for a winding up his punch, and Todoroki goes to blast his fire, they launch their attacks as Cementos tries to block them. Izuku stabs his sword into the ground for leverage and covers his body in his dark stone skin that he used against the Nomu. As the collision of this caused a giant explosion, everybody was just freaked about the sheer force of this. Though the amount of power going towards Todoroki was a lot greater than in canon. For one, this Izuku is strong enough to handle the power without recoil. Not only that, his base strength is a lot more than the average human. And with this, he's able to send Todoroki out of the ring. As for him, with the steam and all covering him up, he releases his stone skin as he breathes out, stating, "Phew, that could have gone bad. Or at least it could have gone worse," as he smirked, just thinking about how powerful that was, and how much more powerful his flames could be if he trained them all these years. As the smoke cleared, it showed that Izuku is still in the ring as Todoroki is struggling to get up from the ground outside of it, with Midnight stating, "Alright, Izuku Midoriya is the winner," with the crowd cheering over something like that. We go back to the League of Villains hideout where Homura is showing the Daughter of Darkness what they're up against, as he states that physical power is far more than I expected. Could be troublesome. As Homura states, "Yeah, it was a real pain seeing him just toss Nomu around, and we made him to fight All Might." Ugh. Though these so-called anomalous abilities your boss talked about must have played a good part in how he defeated Nomu, huh? He states, "Most likely. I've seen enough," as he walks out, with Shigaraki not liking her. He states, "It's just gonna be annoying." As we get back to the tournament, to the changes of the lineup, where we now see Momo going up against Mina. As the fight begins, Momo creates a shield and a stick, using the shield to block her acid, though needing to create another shield whenever it gets all melted. As Mina is skating around using her quirk, Momo's thinking about what to do, though figures out something. Her her acid is being diluted through the pores in her feet from her adjusted shoes, so that they can allow her to basically skate on this smoothed out concrete surface. So, to create some fragments of bits of metal, tossing them around when Mina's not looking. As when she goes to skate in a certain place, she ends up hitting them, causing her to lose her balance, giving Momo a chance to hit her in the stomach with the metal rod, causing Mina to recoil in pain, and Momo going slamming the shield into Mina, pushing her out. Where Momo is now the victor. Momo's been training a lot with Izuku to learn combat uh, battle strategy on the fly, and she's gotten pretty good at it, including picking up some examples of analyzing an opponent on the fly. As now we get to the next portion, which would be the semifinals, as Izuku is now against Ida. Ida thinks that the best course of action would be to grab Izuku using Reciprocal Burst and drag him out of the ring. As the match begins, tries to do exactly that. Though Izuku pulls out a giant shield with blade sides blocking Ida, as he uses this to push Ida back a bit, causing Ida to just get sent back as Izuku turns with the shield and uses One for All to swing it, causing a strong gust of air sending Ida out of the ring. With Ida frustrated about this, he does end up with Izuku extending a hand to him to help him up, with Izuku smirking, stating, "Tried to take over my strength by being faster than what I could react." Honestly, not a bad kind of strategy, but I could still see you coming no problem. Maybe work on getting faster. As Ida grabbed his hand and got up, stating, "Thanks for the advice. I suppose I still got a long way to go." As they leave, with Izuku being the winner of this semifinal. As for the other semifinals, we have Momo and Bakugo. As the fight begins, she makes two shields, being extra cautious against Bakugo and his explosions. As Bakugo goes in for the assault, Momo is giving little chance to counterattack, and Bakugo is very good at maneuvering in mid-air with his explosions. So Momo is obviously forced out of the ring, as Bakugo is the winner. When Momo left, she is seen by Izuku as he's heading out for the finals. He looks down as Izuku pats her head, stating, "You did good," causing her to blush a bit. As she sees his long hair, she thinks and states, "You should really do something about that." As if you remember from the beginning part of this What If, Izuku does have really long hair that can't be cut by anything. As he states, "Here, let me help." Making a little ponytail thing on to help kind of manage his hair. He states, "Thanks," smirking as she blushes a bit, stating, "Good luck, although I doubt I really need to say it." With Izuku stating, "I appreciate it all the same. Thank you," as he heads off to the battle, where we are now at the finals with Izuku Midoriya versus Bakugo Katsuki. And with the fight beginning as Midnight States begin. Right off the bat, Bakugo goes up into the air and prepares his Howitzer blaster, trying to get him with full force. As Midoriya is smirking at this, he states, "Bring it!" As the Howitzer blast is just going straight for him, right when it's about to hit, he creates his stone skin, taking the full brunt of it, though barely even budging. As the smoke was clearing, he let it go and then blitzed right toward Bakugo, punching him right in the gut, causing Bakugo to spit up a bit. As Bakugo was reeling from this, he uses his explosion to get some distance, though it isn't long since Izuku creates a chain with a shackle on the end again, causing it and controlling it to latch onto Bakugo's ankle, where Izuku uses it to just swing him around, with Bakugo having trouble getting control. With One for All giving a boost, he flings him towards the wall, with Bakugo trying to use his explosions to stop him. Unfortunately, it does slow him down enough to protect him, but not enough to keep him from touching the wall. Though once he touched the wall with his feet, he's considered out. As Midnight remarks, Bakugo Kosuke is out. Izuku Midoriya is the winner of the UA Sports Festival, with the crowd cheering and Bakugo being a bit frustrated about this, but nevertheless takes this loss somewhat bittersweet, since he figures that he's gonna win no matter what next time. As the award ceremony is done properly, Ida is still, well, Ida is actually just on the phone hearing about his brother, the hero killer. And so we have first place Izuku Midoriya, second place Bakugo Katsuki, and third place Momo Yaoyorozu. As at the SCP house, his family is just going nuts, stating, haha, yes, with the Dr. Bright stating, all right, Spook, pay up. And you too, Fish, as the shape-shifting SCP known as Too Spooky, and Mr. Fish state, fine. Mr. Fish states, I would have really thought Izuku would have gotten a bit too cocky and lost. Ugh. With Bright stating, you underestimate how much of his father is in him. With Spook stating, probably, but that was a good fight, as they just kept eating the food that they had laid out. And with this, afterwards, they're then going to the school as they remark about how many people were recognizing them from the sports festival. Especially Izuku, who was getting freaking mauled by people. As we see Aizawa walk in, telling them to be quiet, stating, alright, these are the outcomes of the all of the heroes that asked for you to intern with them. Showing a big board of multiple people wanting a number of individuals. We see that Izuku ends up getting the most, with Bakugo second, Todoroki third, and Momo fourth. With some people wondering why Todoroki's third, but considering that he has two quirks and is the son of the number 2 hero, of course some people want to kind of hop on that bandwagon to promote a big future hero, especially if they end up getting him to work for them as a sidekick before he goes pro. So yeah, Aizawa states, although some of you did not get any requests for internships, you will all be going to an internship of some kind. These papers have a list of heroes who are willing to take interns, as he hands them out. With this, they end up thinking about who they should go for their internship, and Izuku doesn't really know. He could really use somebody who can help him refine his abilities a bit more. Which is when All Might walks in asking to see Midoriya about a request from a hero. Since the class heard this, they figured it must be some real big deal hero that All Might's asking to talk to Midoriya about it. As he states, alright, following All Might, with him hitting his hip shaking, Izuku asks, what are you doing? All Might states, my old mentor called and asked if you would be interested in interning with him, causing Izuku to be surprised as he asked what kind of a person is he, as he remarked about the beatings he's been given by Gran Torino in the past when he was learning how to control One for All. Izuku asked, so he knows about it, and how could he help me? With All Might stating, oh, yes, right. He remarked that you and I are somewhat similar in the sense that when I first got it, I had trouble managing the percentage like you. You have quite a bit of trouble restraining the power, and it isn't good, especially if you have to fight in close quarters. As Izuku kind of regrettably states, yeah, I know. Ugh, so annoying holding back. As All Might states, yes, but if you unleash that power in a confined space, like in between two buildings, you could end up bringing both of them down, causing who knows how much damage and injuries to civilians. As he states, their point. So he taught you how to do it, right? As he states, yes, essentially. With Izuku stating, alright, I can go with that. As he goes back to class, and Momo asked what kind of internship did All Might want to talk to him about. Which Izuku not knows he can't really say anything about One for All, so he states, well, it's a hero that All Might thinks can help me reel back my power, since it could be pretty destructive, like you saw. It could be useful for managing how much power to use for different situations, which Momo states that would be helpful and could prove to be less destructive, remarking about how destructive he can be sometimes if in a fight, which causes Izuku to state, oh, come on, I'm not that bad, with his whole class stating, yes, you are, just looking at him, and then surprised that they all said it at the same time, starting to laugh, with Izuku just stating, ugh, alright, I've had enough of this. Which is where we go and skip over to where they're all going to the trains for their meeting with their internship. As Izuku knows about Ida and his family problems right now, before they split up, Izuku looks at Ida, calling him over, getting his attention and stating, don't do something crazy, alright? If you do, I'll make sure to give you a nice whack on the head. Showing a clenched fist, with Ida stating, alright, as he just looks away, walking with a serious face on his, just look on his face and such. Izuku sighs as Momo and Ochako ask what's the matter, with Izuku stating, I think he might be going off to do something that he probably shouldn't. And as we'll be ending this what if for right now, now then, the next what if that will be posted will be the what if picked by the winner of the what if lotto. It is one part of a what if being added, and after that there will be a poll that will be set up on the community tab, as well as some additional information for my Discord. But the details, I'll leave that for next time. So yeah, with all that being said, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Make sure it's set to all. And I hope to see you guys later. Bye.